Today is Thursday, Parashat Bo. The final pasuk of the parasha of this week is the mitzvah of Tefillin. Vaya leot al yadecha ultotafot ben enecha. So this Tefillin, the boxes of Tefillin will be on your arm and also ben enecha, between your eyes at the center, just right above the forehead. And the mitzvah of the Tefillin is a very important mitzvah. It's a sign of a covenant between us and Hashem. Other mitzvot that have this idea of oath is the Brit Milah, which is a very important part of the life of a Jewish family, a Jewish boy. And the other is Shabbat, most important day of the week. But Tefillin is also a mitzvah that is called an oath, a sign of a covenant between us and Hashem. What is the idea of a box with texts written on parchment on the arm, and the texts that are written on there as portions from the Shema prayer, and also this portion at the end of the parasha of this week of Kadesh li kol bechor, the sanctifying of the firstborn, and the idea of the exodus from Egypt. The tefillin being on the arm next to the heart, arm symbolizing action, but next to it is a heart, standing for the emotions of a person. Above the forehead, representing the place of the mind. So we have here the intellect and the emotions that have next to them the holy texts that are in the tefillin. And this is to symbolize and to deliver a message. We could say two messages. One message is that both our intellect, our mind, our emotions, and our actions, as a matter of fact, being on the arm, should be dedicated to the service of Hashem. But very important to understand also that emotions and action should be directed by our intellect, our mind. Unfortunately, all too often, people have the right idea in mind of what they should do, but when it comes to emotions or actions, they're not exactly in sync. They're not synchronized. A person can have in mind a certain idea, great concepts of what he should be doing, but when it comes to action, there is a separation between the two. Or emotions. Sometimes the emotions take over a person, and he might act in a way that makes no sense to him if he was to think analytically about it. And maybe, even if you plan to do a certain action, the emotions take over, and then his intellect or his analytical approach to that specific project that he was working on, or the specific situations, the emotions just take over the intellect. We have to have the emotions and the action be submitted to the control and to the direction by the mind and the intellect. And that's one of the other ideas associated with the tefillin, as we put it on the arm and next to our mind, the seat of our thinking, so to speak. Sometimes people use the mind to justify their actions after the fact. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about having the mind be the directing force, the guiding, giving the guidance to how a person should act. And that's why the tefillin is such an important mitzvah that we put on every day. And it has the holy text written on it. And there's been many researches done where they took some pictures of people that could sort of like see the aura around the person. And after a person puts on tefillin, the aura around a person sort of changes. And even if we don't understand how it works, there is definitely an impact in a very positive way on a person through this mitzvah of tefillin. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.